Before we begin, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell icon, because today's story is one that shaped an entire generation. Don Cornelius wasn't just a television host. He was a man with a velvet voice who brought rhythm and pride into millions of homes. Every Saturday morning, people gathered around their TVs as if attending a cultural ceremony. Soul Train didn't feel like a show. It felt like a sanctuary, a safe place where Black America finally saw itself uplifted. But behind all the polished smiles and smooth transitions, Cornelius carried battles nobody saw. His path wasn't always glamorous. And in the end, one moment meant to honor everything he built would become the moment that shattered it. This is the rise, fall, and mystery of a legend, and it starts long before the world knew his name. Before the spotlight, Don Cornelius was just another hardworking man in Chicago trying to find purpose. He sold insurance, directed traffic, and spent years dreaming of something bigger than his daily routine. In 1966, he took a leap and enrolled in a short broadcasting course that changed everything. That step brought him to local station WCIU, a small operation that gave him a chance to see what was possible. There, he imagined a show that represented Black youth honestly. No stereotypes, no mockery, just joy. A show where music wasn't background noise but the heartbeat of the community. In August 1970, he took the risk and launched Soul Train locally. The budget was small, the equipment limited, but the belief behind it was enormous. Nobody imagined it would soon reshape history. Soul Train exploded almost instantly in Chicago. Even with its bare-bones resources, the energy was impossible to ignore. Teens from the city lined up around the block for a chance just to dance on camera. The music, the style, the attitude, they all felt alive in a way mainstream television never allowed. When the show went national in 1971, it was nothing short of revolutionary. For the first time, a series hosted, produced, and centered around Black culture was broadcast across America. Don Cornelius became the smooth, composed face of a movement that demanded respect without asking for permission. And week after week, Soul Train turned living rooms into dance floors, uniting communities from coast to coast. By 1973, Soul Train was unstoppable. Legends like James Brown, Aretha Franklin, and the Jackson 5 gave performances that felt electric. The Soul Train line became tradition. Kids practiced their moves all week just to be ready for Saturday. Families watched together, creating memories that lasted a lifetime. Cornelius's vision of dignity and excellence shone through in every shot. He wasn't just hosting. He was protecting an image of Black culture that mainstream media rarely honored. But behind the sparkling lights and joyful music, tension quietly brewed. Dancers worked grueling hours, often without pay, pushing themselves because they knew the world was watching. Some loved every second of it. Others felt the cost. As Soul Train flourished, Cornelius became both admired and feared for his high standards. He controlled everything: costumes, camera angles, even the lighting had to match his vision. Rosie Perez, one of the show's standout dancers, later revealed that Don would stop a performance instantly if someone crossed the line of what he considered tasteful. He valued artistry, not shock value. But as the music world began shifting in the late 70s and 80s, the gap between his vision and the culture grew wider. Disco was fading, hip-hop was emerging, and new artists brought raw stories that didn't fit the elegance Don was committed to. Slowly, the show that once shaped the future began feeling anchored in the past. The 1980s brought challenges that Cornelius wasn't prepared for. Hip-hop wasn't just music, it was the voice of a generation demanding to be heard. But to Don, the movement felt too aggressive, too chaotic, too far from the smooth soul roots Soul Train was built on. In interviews, he openly shared his discomfort, saying he didn't want the show overtaken by negativity. Those comments marked a turning point. Younger audiences drifted to MTV Raps and Rap City, leaving Soul Train struggling to stay relevant. Within the studio, disagreements intensified. Producers argued over whether to evolve or remain loyal to Don's original vision. But no decision satisfied everyone. By the early 90s, the cracks were hard to hide. Ratings dropped, affiliates moved the show to weaker time slots, and the once spirited set felt tense instead of triumphant. Dancers wanted fair treatment, producers wanted modern acts, and Don wanted to protect the dignity of the show he devoted his life to. After 23 years, the exhaustion showed. In 1993, Don stepped down as host. His final love, peace, and soul carried a heaviness fans could feel. It wasn't just the end of a job, it was the end of his era. New hosts followed, but the magic wasn't the same. Without Don's presence, Soul Train seemed to lose its heartbeat. The 2000s were a difficult chapter. Soul Train remained on air, but it no longer felt like the cultural powerhouse it once was. Budget cuts weakened production, experienced staff members left, and the atmosphere backstage became disorganized. Younger audiences gravitated toward flashier platforms, leaving Soul Train struggling to maintain its identity. Don, though retired from hosting, occasionally visited the set. Crew members described him as looking proud yet heartbroken, watching something he loved slowly fade. His vision of class, unity, and celebration didn't fit easily into the rapidly changing media landscape. Then came the moment that would push Soul Train beyond the point of return. In early 2006, a routine tapping spiraled into chaos after last-minute staff changes and miscommunication. A controversial rising hip-hop artist clashed with producers over performance style. When filming finally began, what unfolded on stage shocked everyone. The choreography was far more provocative than anything allowed before. Costumes were revealing, and the tone clashed painfully with Cornelius's lifelong values. Don, who happened to be present that day, was reportedly devastated. Witnesses say he stormed backstage, demanding the footage be pulled immediately. What followed was swift and catastrophic. Tribune Entertainment, Soul Train's biggest distributor, withdrew support shortly after reviewing the situation. Their exit triggered a domino effect. Within weeks, nearly half the show's affiliates stopped airing Soul Train. Production shut down without warning. The infamous episode was never broadcast. Fans didn't know the truth. They simply saw the show disappear with no explanation. But inside the studio, everyone understood. That lost episode didn't just cause controversy. It delivered the final blow to a production already on unstable ground. As months passed, whispers about the banned episode spread online. Fans called it the Soul Train curse, while former staff hinted it contained moments that violated everything Don stood for. Some claimed the arguments backstage got heated. Others believed it wasn't one disaster, but the final straw after years of decline. Whatever the truth, no one ever released the footage. Soul Train vanished not with a grand finale, but with silence. For viewers who'd grown up running to the TV on Saturday mornings, the quiet ending felt almost unreal. Cornelius retreated from public life soon after the show's disappearance. He avoided interviews and rarely appeared at events. When asked about the ending in 2007, he simply said, "I think it went far enough." It was an answer that revealed exhaustion rather than closure. Friends described him as lonely, discouraged, and struggling with health problems. In 2008, legal troubles and personal conflict added to his emotional burden. The man who once filled America with joy was facing battles no one could dance their way out of. On February 1st, 2012, the world received heartbreaking news. Don Cornelius had taken his own life at the age of 75. Tributes poured in from across the entertainment world. Musicians, actors, dancers, and fans all acknowledged the same truth. He had transformed American television. The Los Angeles Times captured it perfectly. He brought rhythm to television and pride to a generation. But behind those honors was the sadness of a visionary who felt his creation had slipped beyond his control. Even after its disappearance, Soul Train never truly faded. Old clips found new life on YouTube. Younger viewers discovered the iconic Soul Train line through TikTok challenges. Historians recognize the show as one of the most influential cultural platforms in American history. Bet revived the story with its 2019 drama series American Soul, exploring both Don's genius and the struggles that shaped him. The Smithsonian later preserved artifacts from the show, ensuring future generations would know its importance. Nearly 2 decades after that final tapping, one question still lingers. What really happened behind the scenes? Was it rebellion, miscommunication, or simply the moment when time finally caught up to a legend who gave everything he had. Some fans hope the lost episode will one day be released. Others believe it's better left buried. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments, hit the like button, and subscribe for more untold stories. Because some histories deserve to be remembered, especially the ones the world never got to see.